Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about my book, Cane Fighting, the authoritative guide to using a cane or walking stick for self-defense. Let's get at it. Before diving into the book, I have a favor to ask you guys. If you could please hit the like, subscribe, and share button, I'd really appreciate it. All of that helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that helps the channel. Now, this book is available in paperback, hardcover, Kindle edition, and audiobook. It's approximately 240 pages, and it has about 200 photographs. Here is the front cover. Here is the spine, and this is the back of the book. Now, this book has over 600 reviews on Amazon with an average of nearly 5-star rating. So this book is well received and appreciated. You'll notice there's a photograph of the Black Dragon cane. Now, this is produced by Cold Steel Products. I'm a huge fan of Cold Steel. I'm a bigger fan of the actual Black Dragon cane, so much so that I'm actually going to have a couple videos I'm going to release on this particular cane for self-defense purposes. Inside the book, we have our table of contents. We have 7 chapters, a glossary of terms, and about yours truly. Chapter 1, choose your weapon wisely. Now, in this chapter, I start off talking about some of the advantages and benefits of using a tactical cane for self-defense. But the majority of this chapter talks about picking the right type of cane. Now, listen, you can't go into some store and just grab a cane off the shelf and say, okay, this is gonna be my self-defense weapon. It doesn't work like that. In this chapter, I talk about very specific requirements that need to be met if you're going to use this for personal protection. Chapter 2, handling your weapon. So this chapter talks about the 5 different hand grips and how they're used for different purposes. I also talk about fist loading with the cane and wrist snapping techniques. Chapter 3, stances and concealment. This chapter begins when I talk about the pre-contact and the contact stages of self-defense. These are particularly important when dealing with cane self-defense. Then I move into the high concealment cane stance position. I talk about its benefits, lots of photos to come along with that. I talk about striking first with the cane, the advantages of that, how to strike from the high concealment position, the low concealment position, how to assume the stance, lots of photos, and striking from the low concealment stance. Chapter 4, target areas. So here I talk about target awareness, target orientation, the different target zones, and then I give a breakdown of every single anatomical target that can be struck with the actual cane. And I give demonstrations. Get through here. I talk about use of force too in this chapter because listen, you may survive a self-defense situation, but if you end up using excessive force, you're going to have yourself a real headache with a legal battle. And so this is important for you at least to have an understanding of what justifies the application of force. We get into target recognition, target selection, target impaction, and exploitation. Everything's explained in great detail. And then finally, at the end of this chapter, I talk about the different types of fighting attributes that will enhance your cane fighting skills. Chapter 5, cane striking techniques. Now this is a large chapter. It covers a lot of material. So I talk about the 9 angles of attack that are unique to my system, Contemporary Fighting Arts. And I give demonstrations, actually my student demonstrates these different angles with the cane. Then we move on to combining striking angles, which is very important, and probable reaction dynamics. You know, I've talked about this in some of my previous videos. It's very important to have an understanding of how the opponent will initially react to your strike, because you'll be able to exploit that. And then we have lots of different combination examples, as you can see here. So we'll go through this pretty quickly. There is a lot here. And I think the next, yeah. So over here, this section is devoted to creating your own cane fighting combinations, because as you practice, you're gonna find there's certain movements that really flow well with your particular body type or your attribute level or your skill level. So this is really nice because it'll allow you to jot everything down so you become more acquainted with the cane for self-defense. And then we talk about power swings and the 3 phases of a power swing. Lots of do's and don'ts. And towards the end of the chapter, now this is for deadly force situations only. This is cane choking techniques, which are incredibly effective and must be used when a deadly force is warranted and justified in the eyes of the law. Chapter 6 is defensive techniques, and as the name implies, it's all about using your tactical cane for defensive purposes. I talk about some of the verbal and non-verbal indicators that danger is imminent and that the attack is imminent. And then we go into the different cane blocking techniques, and the deflecting techniques. And then finally, I cover footwork and mobility, which is really important both for offense and defensive purposes. The final chapter is cane fighting workouts. Now, what I wanted to do is leave you guys with a really solid foundation of developing your own workout program. So that's what this chapter is devoted to. We have some warm-up exercises, and then it goes into working the cane on the body opponent bag, which is the preferred piece of equipment, because when using the cane, you really want to be target specific, and target specificity is really, really important, and when using the body opponent bag, you get to have that. So it's much more preferred of the heavy bag. So here we give different examples of cane strikes. We go back to the 9 angles of the attack, and we have different combinations, again, to add to your own personal workout program. And then let's see here. Yeah, so then over here, I talk about the 3 training methodologies that we use in contemporary fighting arts and how it applies to cane fighting. We have conditioning training, proficiency training, and street training. And then I have a section here about designing your own workout program. I talk about time-based workouts, and I give an example of a time-based workout program. And then we have conditioning and strength training for effective cane fighting skills. And then at the end of the book, we have a glossary that I include in all of my books because I think it's really important for a self-defense technician to have a really good working knowledge of the terminology and lexicon within a particular system that they're studying. So that's included in the book. And of course, there is a little bit about yours truly. And I also have a couple ads in the back for my other books. So this is it, guys. Cane fighting. The authoritative guide to using the cane or walking stick for self-defense. I appreciate you tuning in and listening, and I'll see you guys at the next video.